Hello, this is Rico Cavella, and I'm going to welcome you to this episode of the Fearless Aging TV show, where in every episode, my guests and I, we strive to offer you proven tips and strategies that you can implement immediately to greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we're here to inspire you and empower you to become your best self so you can go out and make a bigger positive difference in the world. And so I'm really excited about this episode. The title of this episode is From Chronic Illness to Chronic Wellness. And this is such an important topic. I just looked up on Google and they said uh, up to at least 60% of Americans are suffering with chronic illnesses. And so that's something that we have to change. And we've got a real change maker here today. Our guest is Dr. James Augustine. He is internationally known for his amazing solutions for chronic illness. His team, Dr. Augustine and his team at Ahead to Wellness combine foundational lifestyle alterations with functional medicine, functional immunology, functional endocrinology, and functional neurology. His unique approach to solving the root cause of chronic illnesses recognizes that lasting health depends on resolution of foundational health habits and lifestyle factors that are the cause of your disease. So, Dr. Augustine, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So again, this is such an important topic. You know, as we know, so many people are suffering from all this chronic illness, and I just want to start off by saying, uh, our mainstream medical system, our allopathic medicine system, is great if you have an acute situation. They can put you back together. They can save your life. But for most chronic illnesses that most people are suffering with and going to see doctors, not only are treatments pretty much ineffective, but some of them can be downright dangerous. So I want to congratulate you for your work and for what you're doing. So how about let's start off, let's just talk a little bit about why you think there is so much chronic illnesses and what are some of the most prevalent illnesses that you see and why do you think this is?
Unfortunately, we've been sort of brainwashed from children to you go to the doctor when something's wrong and they give you a medicine to really treat the symptom. And when you feel better, you're fine. And not much is discussed, especially in healthcare, about taking care of yourself, about actually working on developing disciplines and habits, really great health habits, and foundationally eating food. You know, our food system in this country has really been destroyed from genetically modifying things to spraying all of our wheat products with glyphosate, which is Roundup, the pesticide weed killer. And also what's been also promoted is eating starch and sugar. And of course, a bunch of fast foods to make things super simple and easy. And everything is sweet because 1 out of 3 people are pre-diabetic today. And of course, heart disease still being the number one killer. And if you compare heart disease 20 years ago to today, it's actually worse today. So they're not making much progress to get people healthy again.
Yeah, so the message here, it's really our unhealthy lifestyles that is the main uh, root cause of all this different chronic illnesses, and we'll talk about what some of those chronic illnesses are that you may be experiencing yourself. And I just want to add that from science, we now know that our genetic potential is to stay healthy to at least 125. So that could be our lifespan, but yet we know our life expectancy in America is it's actually gone down recently. It's only about 77. So that means that most people are missing out on 40 good years of healthy, good living. And we also know that our genes only play a very small percentage of how healthy we're going to be and how long we're going to live. So we know that it is a lifestyle, but that's good news, isn't it, Dr. Jim? That's good news because you can change your lifestyle.
Absolutely. It's really phenomenal news. But the difficulty with people is to get them to change their health habits or lack of health habits, because it's interesting how people can really just tie it on in their their teens, their 20s and 30s, and then they begin to start paying a price progressively because of all of the fast living and just bombardment with starch and sugar and alcohol over those years, and they end up in their 40s or even late 30s with chronic disease developing already. Autoimmune disease is rampant today.
Yeah, the sad thing is, all the things that we really need to live a successful and a healthy, long life, we're not taught, right? As little children, I mean, we should be taught how important our health is and how to take care of ourselves. And for little kids, and we should be taught, how to build good relationships and how to have good self-esteem. All the things that we really need, our educational system doesn't teach us. So that's why we're here, to educate people that they can take control of their health. And so, yeah, and not. I just want to also add, it's our lifestyle, not only in the food and lack of exercise, but it's a stress. Somehow how we develop this fast-paced, stressful. Everybody feels stressed that we got to accomplish so much, and stress is known to be the precursor to most everything that manifests in our physical body begins in our mental emotional state, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because it was not funny, but the number one foundational thing that's in every patient that comes in this door is stress and adrenal fatigue. Just because I say, just drive on the freeway, just try driving on the freeway, and boom, you're going to be in that sympathetic stress mode. And many people, the testing that we do, we can measure cortisol and adrenaline, and those are typically very high. And oh my goodness, you're heading towards, exhaustion, fatigue, hormone imbalances, like via PMS if you're menstrual cycle age, or menopausal symptoms. And foundationally behind that is working on or adrenal fatigue, adrenal problems. So yeah, stress is in 100% of every chronic illness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to mention to everybody, our viewers, that stay to the end. We've only got about 18 minutes to go, so we're going to really jam pack it with some great information. And also at the end, we'll let you know how you can get actually a free consultation with Dr. James to discuss whatever whatever situation that you may be dealing with. So let's talk about some of the main chronic illnesses that people are experiencing, and well, I think more importantly, let's mention that it's not only your lifestyle, but you've developed so many different techniques of not only diagnosing but really getting to the root cause, and then you've got so many different methodologies that can help the body to heal.
Mhm.
But again, to start off, I mean, how did you develop all these methodologies, and come to find out what people really need to heal?
Well, it was because of my mom years and years ago. She developed terrible illness. She had bladder cancer, and she had her bladder removed, complete hysterectomy. And then shortly thereafter, she developed rheumatoid arthritis. And the only medication that would help her feel and function sort of well and normal was prednisone, a
Mm.
really strong steroid. And it took away her pain, but it demineralized her bones. She was on it for 6 years, and then it pushed her also into type 2 diabetes. So terrible, terrible, just this really downward spiral for her health. And actually, I saw, unfortunately, medicine put her 6 feet under sooner. And I knew that there had to be another way. And early on in practice, here I was focused on still wanting people to heal, but this really prompted me to, I got to figure out what's behind all of this. And therefore, my early on in practice, my patients, that people that I would attract were chronic illness patients. And I see just a ton of ladies, because I jokingly say this, but it seems to be true, is that women are smarter than men. When something goes wrong, they actually go do something about it. They want to figure it out.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, going to medicine, and I know all your viewers will understand this. You go to the doctor and you say, what's causing this? They have no idea, nor do they care. They just want to do enough testing to diagnose something and therefore put you on medication and or surgery. It's a combination of one of those or both of those, and that's just terrible. You don't want to treat symptoms like high blood pressure. Why is it high? Ask that question. Not you can treat the blood pressure with medication. It'll definitely lower your blood pressure, but work on and discover why is your blood pressure high in the first place. And that's really my approach to everything. And your body's not a sack of drugs and chemicals. It's a sack of food and nutrients. So you need to use those things to begin to solve problems. But then there's another problem that we discovered is cellular health is a major, major deal today, even down into people's early 30s. Cellular health can be a big, big problem. And if you cannot get nutrients inside your cells, and nor can you get the metabolites and toxins out of your cells, nothing changes. So you could be taking the best nutrition, eating the perfect diet, and nothing changes. And that drives people crazy. And you can get very, very cynical because nothing is improving. That's a major thing that we look at. We look at cellular health. We definitely take the approach of finding out what's causing the problems. What is the root cause behind it? And it's a combination of another missing part of health that I discovered was truly the only doctor, real doctor for you is actually you. And it's your central nervous system, a special part of your brain called the autonomic nervous system. It automatically runs and regulates everything inside your body. And it's truly what cures, treats, and heals you. And what I've discovered over 20, almost 30 years now of doing a particular testing technology, it's called heart rate variability. We can look at it. It's a cardiovascular test, EKG based, looks at heart function, demonstrates heart function, but most importantly, it shows the autonomic nervous system. And everybody that we've tested that has terrible, horrible health problems has terrible, horrible nerve system problems. People with great health have great nerve system function. So there's got to be a correlation there. So we work at that level too, because I'm not the real doctor for you. It's really you from inside out, and it's all driven by that autonomic nervous system.
So what do you think it is? I mean, why are we having so much problems with our nervous system?
Well, that's a multifactorial cause. In other words, it is your habits that you've chosen. It's lack of sleep. It's a fast-paced lifestyle, major stress. And stress shuts down your digestive enzyme production, and then you can't stop eating food. So you have rotting and spoiling food going through your system, and people will develop all sorts of problems going on in their gastrointestinal tract, which is foundationally a root cause behind heart disease, cancer, autoimmune disease, and neurodegenerative disease.
Yeah.
So huge problems there.
Let's talk a little bit about, again, all this technology that we have is advancing so fast, and we can accomplish so much and do so much, and it's great because that's why we're here. That's why you and I can be right here today and have this conversation and get this information out to people. But then on the other hand is that we just take it to the extreme, and I think that's one of the biggest problems, that people are so distracted, from even just being in touch with how their body feels and what they're doing and what their lifestyle is. And they're just so caught up into this, what used to be called the rat race. I'm not sure what it's called nowadays, but just thinking that you have to accomplish so much, and you got to be, I got to do this. I got to do this. It's so busy. And that's really just cutting people off from connecting to just being in tune with their bodies and being aware of what's going on and realizing that, hey, when I'm eating, maybe I don't feel so good after I eat, and I'm not sleeping well, and I don't, I'm not eliminating my waste products well. All these things that should be red flags, but people just don't pay attention to it. And then if they do, like you said, the doctor just gives them some kind of medication to mask it, and then they think they're okay.
Yeah, and you know what the real sad part is you're going to pay a price sooner or later. Better to pay the price sooner and try to really work with somebody who's honest, that is really going to try to find the root cause behind those problems that you're experiencing. Because if you pay later, it's going to be a seriously large payment. It could be your life. And as you know, Rico, we talk about this all the time, you have nothing without your health. Literally, your life is destroyed without your health. And I've seen people in their 30s and 40s and 50s with major cancer going on, just terrible, terrible things. And so the earlier you can really check and test and discover these foundational causes, the better.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And I want to say too, I want to again, congratulate you for the work that you're doing. And I've interviewed lots of different naturopathic doctors and functional medicine doctors and people who are doing great things. But I really haven't seen anyone who has put together all these different modalities and what you're doing. And I know you're getting some really good results with your patients, and we'll talk about what that is as well.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's so important to get some help. That's another message that we want to get out today in this episode, that you don't have to put up with this. That's one of the unfortunate things I think too, Dr. Jim, is that so many people just kind of bought into this system that that's just the way it is. And most people are going to suffer from this and that. And we are going to get old and sick and maybe end up in a nursing home and die in our 70s. So if you buy into that thought, that mentality, you're stuck. And then that's what you're going to create, because we know, our beliefs and our thoughts create our reality. So that's the other message that we want you to know, is that you don't have to, that may be normal, but that's not natural. You don't have to put up with that. You don't have to accept that. There are solutions, and so we're going to talk about some of those solutions now coming up. But that's the message I want people to understand, that you can take control of your health and you can do it. And our bodies are made to heal, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it all comes from inside out, which is the completely opposite position of our current healthcare system, which is really sick care. That's why your doctors are so busy. You can't get appointments, and they're always just jammed with people because they're never solving anything. It's always just treating symptoms, unfortunately. But I love what you say about aging versus getting old. I think, why don't you go ahead and say that? That's just great. I love that, the way you say that.
There's so many information out these days about anti-aging, but I think that's the wrong terminology, because we're sending the wrong message to our brain. You can't stop aging. Aging is a natural process. And the definition of aging actually is to become fully mature, to reach your full potential, like fine aged wine. And so aging is good. We're here to age, old, but old's another story. You don't have to become old in the process, because old is just a state of your mind and a state of your body. And those are choices, how you care for your mind and how you care for your body. Yeah, so here at my company, Ageless Living Lifestyle, we have the saying is, we have to age, but we don't have to become old in the process.
Love that. It's true. It's
Yeah,
true because there are people 20 years, 30 years younger than me that are old. And it's
yeah,
wow. Of course, their lifestyle is entirely different than mine.
yeah.
But and of course all of those factors really matter. So yeah.
Well, let's talk about first of all. So what are some of in case some people may be wondering, well, okay, when you talk about chronic illness, what are some of the main chronic illnesses that you've had success working with?
Well, my goodness, the main, which is cancer, is huge. Cancer is a big deal, and tend to attract people that have cancer. I've
Mm.
got one, two, three, I think three cases right now. One of them, which is the most spectacular, he had stage 4 esophageal cancer, and in about 4 months, we just did a PET scan. I just reviewed it yesterday with him, and he's fine. Everything's gone. Beautiful. His cancer markers in blood are they're all normal, and the PET scan too didn't show the metastasis. The lymph nodes are normal. The esophagus at the bottom was a little bit thickened, which it's like a scar really, but everything's fine.
Wow, that's
So
amazing. That's one of the toughest ones. What are some other major chronic illnesses that people are dealing with that you've been helping people with?
high blood pressure, cardiometabolic issues such as blood sugar problems, because it's amazing with some of the technology. Like we have a special test. It's a full body scanning technology that I use. It's not invasive. It's not a picture of organs. It's a tissue level measurement of how all these organ systems are functioning. And the great thing is we can map out and you can see blood sugar. You've got all these markers for blood sugar that are causing endothelial damage. The inner skin lining of your blood vessels are damaged.
Mm.
And then heart function is also poor. So we can see that pathway, that connection through, which is why it's so amazing to make all those connections, because many times people need motivation. They can look fine on the outside, but what's going on the inside really, really matters. We have, testing that we do. That's one of the tests that we do that's really been tremendous. We have a heart scan that we send people to. I call it the heart scan, but a coronary artery calcium test. I highly recommend everybody do that because it measures the plaque. It's a CAT scan, a CT scan of just your heart, measures the calcium content in your coronary arteries. You have plaque there that you don't really know of, and the left anterior descending is the main artery that if it's blocked and you have a heart attack because of that one, you're going to be bye-bye, present with the Lord if you have that issue. So,
yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a short 60-second break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what you can expect when you come and see or talk to Dr. Jim and some of the more of his modalities of how he helps you to heal. All right. Hello, I'm Rico Caveglia, creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. If you are concerned about premature aging and you want to avoid disease and old age, and you want to live a more healthy, energetic, and vital long life, I have proven solutions for you. So number one, go to agelesslivinglifestyle.com and take our aging quiz to see how well you are doing. And number two, book your free coaching session with me to discuss your wellness challenges, and I promise to get you going on the right track. You can transform your health and your life, and I can help. All right, we are back with Dr. James Augustine. So Dr. James, tell us what a patient, when they come to see you, what can they expect? Because I know, like, it's not just only testing, but you help them inspire them and help them to take control of their life. And just talk real briefly a little bit about what you do, what you offer, and then we'll let people know how they can get a free consultation with you.
Well, first and foremost, it's nothing of a sales pitch. My thing is I love to get people great results. That's what it's all about, really getting the results that a person's after. But we do a really good, thorough consultation to really find out and try to discover root causes just even within the consultation. And it's been said that you can discover 80% of the diagnosis within just the consultation alone. And certainly it sort of steers us onto a path of what to do next, because you want to do the things that are appropriate. You don't want to just do basic stuff that everybody else does and you never get any answers. So we do a really good, thorough consultation. You definitely will feel like you're heard. Many patients, I hear this all the time. Gosh, I go to my doctor and I don't feel like he listens to me. He doesn't hear what I'm saying, which is a big problem. And our consultation will lead us into, and it's a great thing. It's like a team effort between the two of us on what's the sort of the next logical steps to take, whether it be certain types of testing, that sort of thing. And we get a bigger overview of what's going on in your life and your lifestyle, how much stress is going on, how's your family life, all those good things, because it's all important. It all plays a huge role in your health and your recovery too. And I can say, certainly from being in practice for 36 years now, with great confidence, I'm absolutely certain I can get people to get from point A to point B where they really want to be without question.
Yeah, that's so good. And again, as I mentioned when I introduced you, you have so many different modalities. You work on all kind of functional medicine and immunology and endocrinology. You have all those tools in your toolbox. That's so good. Like I say, I've never talked to anybody else who offered so much different possibilities and it can really look at the whole person. So again, I just congratulate you for what you're doing. So let's tell people how they can get in touch with you and get that free consultation with you.
Yeah, I'd love to discuss and answer any of your questions with you. And it's on my website. My website is www.aheadtowellness.com, aheadtowellness.com. And up on the right side, it says new patient. You can click on that, and there is a free discovery consultation that we can sit and chat just over the phone and see if it's a good fit. If I can help you, great. If I can't help you, I'd like to help you make sure that you get the right information and get doing the right stuff to solve your issues.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you so much. So I definitely recommend that you go to head2wellness.com and book your free consultation with Dr. Augustine. All right, so that's it for this episode. If you like what you heard today, tell your friends about the Fearless Aging TV show. And I want to let you know, too, that I also offer online wellness coaching programs. So no matter where you live, so if you're interested in that, you can go to agelesslivinglifestyle.com/coaching to learn more. So our message always is, as in every episode, you can live a much healthier, energetic, joyful, long life. So take action on what you learn and go out in the world and be joyful and be well. Thanks, Dr. Jim.
You're welcome.
Okay.